I went to Atlanta this last week to a conference called Orange Conference. And Orange Conference, people say, well, what is that? Are you an Oklahoma State fan? Is that for all the Oklahoma State people in the world to come get together? No, Orange Conference is a conference that is put on by a guy named Reggie Joyner and his staff at a group called the Rethink Group. And they have created a children's and youth curriculum that stems from the idea of taking yellow, which represents the family, and taking red, which represents the church, and putting them together and infusing them. And saying for too long what has happened is the church has done everything they can to minister to the children in their way, and families have ministered to kids in their way, trying to do the best they can to disciple their children and raise their children up in the Lord. But if these two entities were to partner together and make Orange, it would have a lasting impact on families and on our children. And so we are raising up our next generation of children in this church by partnering with families to do this. By coming alongside of mom and dad and saying, as a church, we're not just going to be here on Sunday. We're going to give you things in your hands that you can help minister to your kids throughout the week. I know that the last time Meredith spoke on this stage, she communicated to you guys about how we as a church get these kiddos for about 3 hours every week. But you get these kiddos for the rest of the time. You have hour after hour after hour after hour to pour into them and disciple them and give them what they need from a spiritual perspective. And so we want to equip you to be able to do that as parents here. The conference was amazing. Got to hear a lot of really good speakers. And then they had a senior pastor track, a track for senior pastors to go and learn things about how to have a church that is family-based and really helps infuse marriages. And they actually are taking the Orange idea and saying you have marriages who need the church to come alongside of them and partner together so that their marriage can be as successful as a marriage can be. And when the church is able to help each other do that and to grow marriages together, then you have this beautiful thing. So I'm really excited about some of the things we learned at the conference and some of the things we're going to be able to bring back and get started here and do here to just infuse and enhance what is already going on here, which is amazing. It's amazing to see what God has done through you people over the past just few years is absolutely amazing. We have impacted so many lives. God has impacted so many lives, blessed so many people, used this church to do so many incredible things in this community that it really is unbelievable. And I couldn't be more proud of you and excited. I'm also very excited about where God is taking us and the future that is coming. Anyways, I went on an airplane to go to this trip. And while I'm on the airplane, we get all boarded up and we're ready and we're on our way to Chicago so that we can fly to, that's how airlines do you, right? You need to get to Atlanta, so we're going to take you through Chicago and then back down, and you're going to spend all day with us. And while you're with us, we're going to take you and we're going to put you like sardines in a airplane. And we're going to have you in there, crammed together. So our flight there was pretty good, but while we were there, we heard about this plane that crashed. Anybody else hear about the plane that crashed? And so when you get back on a plane, after you hear about a plane that crashes, you're a little bit nervous because that just runs through your head. Okay, so a plane has crashed. We don't do that with cars. Cars crash every day and we're like, I'm driving, right? But with planes, you hear of one crash out of 1 million plane flights and you're worried that it's going to happen to you next. And so they're doing all of the different things and they're telling you about if we happen to have a crash landing on water, your seat cushion is also a flotation device. And if you'll just pick up your seat cushion